The team with the storied past.
Yogi Berra runs out there, he leaps on Larson, and he's swarmed by his teammates.
Coming off a storybook regular season.
It's in the books. Win number 112, an all-time American League record.
And a familiar story last night in Game 1.
Swung on, hit on the ground, base hit, right field. Posada scored, swung on and missed. He struck him out. Jeter fields, throws, got him. Oh, what a play by Jeter. What a play. Mariano is set. Struck him out swinging. Ball game over. Yankees win. Oh, Yankees win.
Game 2 next.
This is the Sun America NBC pregame show. The 1998 American League Division Series. Tonight, it's Game 2. The Texas Rangers versus the New York Yankees.
Throughout the late afternoon and early evening, it rained intermittently in the Bronx. No precipitation right now as we get ready for Game 2. The Yankees up 1-0, sending left-hander Andy Pettitte, 16-11 for the year, to the mound against the Ranger righty Rick Helling, who won 20 while losing only 7. Hi, everybody. Bob Costas along with Hall of Famer Joe Morgan. Welcome to Game 2 in the Bronx. But before we talk more about this game, let's take a look back at what transpired elsewhere today. 3 pitches into the game in Cleveland. Mike Hargrove is tossed by Joe Brinkman. Hargrove felt that Brinkman was squeezing the plate on Dwight Gooden. Then Gooden in the same inning is thrown out, disputing a play at the plate. Without their manager and their starting pitcher, Cleveland wins anyway. This Dave Justice home run is part of it. They take it 9-5, even the series at a game apiece. Games 3 and 4 will be at Fenway Park. Then later on the same afternoon in Atlanta, Game 1, Cubs and Braves. The Mark Clark pitch, driven out by Michael Tucker, 2-0 Atlanta. They tacked another run on, led 3-0, had them loaded. When Ryan Klesko unloaded, the grand slam makes it 7-zip, more than enough for John Smoltz. He cruises to the 7-1 win, and the Braves take a 1-0 lead in that. Best of 5. Now, Joe, we turn our attentions back to this one at Yankee Stadium. When you win 114 games and lose only 48, you don't have many concerns, but one of them for Joe Torre and the Yankees is Andy Pettitte, who's been rocked in all of his late August and September starts.
Well, Bob, in 5 of his last 7 starts, he was rocked because he was getting the ball up. Now, in his last 2 starts, he's been able to get the ball down, control his cut fastball, and get better, movement. So if he's able to keep the ball down, control his cut fastball, he'll be able to stay in this ball game. Otherwise, the Texas Rangers are going to knock him around.
Moments ago, Jim Gray had a chance to visit with the Yankee skipper, Joe Torre. Here it is.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. Well, the Yankees win 114 games. They win Game 1 in this series. But, Joe, do you still feel like in a short series this is a crapshoot still?
Jimmy, it really is. It's so tough. Last night I was so nervous in the 8th and 9th. I asked to borrow some spit from some of my players.
Anybody volunteer?
They looked at me a little cross-eyed.
Andy Pettitte has struggled lately. He won 16 games, lost 11, but he's been hit hard. Are you concerned he might not find his groove tonight?
I think the last few times out he's been fine. His stuff has been good. It's had good movement. Like any manager, you want the first few innings to get over with and hope he settles into some kind of a groove.
Contract extension has been brought up. You're under contract for 1 more year. Do you want to continue, and will you sign an extension?
Oh, right now, I want to manage some more. And George and I have been talking about it, and hopefully it happens.
All right, Joe. Thank you. Good luck tonight.
Okay, Jimmy.
Back upstairs to you, Bob.
All right, Jim, thanks a lot. And Torre has pleased many Yankee fans. Their new favorite rookie sensation, Shane Spencer, is in the lineup in left field tonight. There he is. 7 home runs in his last 9 games, 3 of them grand slams. He's in the lineup against Rick Helling, who was 20-7 and did his best pitching down the stretch, 4-0 in September. Game 2 coming up.
Is the Sun America NBC pregame show. Sun America, the retirement specialist.
Yankees were 26 games better than Texas in the standings this year. But in a short series, anything can happen. It's fraught with peril for the favorites. If the Rangers get out of here with a split and head back to Texas for games 3 and 4, the Yankees will have real concerns. Johnny Oates' lineup is the same as last night, when they couldn't manage much against David Wells. In fact, their 4 most productive hitters, Greer, Gonzalez, Clark, and Rodriguez, 3 through 6, were a combined 2 for 16. Singles by Clark and Greer. That's all they managed. Gonzalez, of course, with the 157 RBIs to lead the American League. Sammy Sosa actually was able to catch him and lead the majors with 158 for the Cubs. Last year, Gonzalez, or 2 years ago, I should say, Gonzalez destroyed the Yankees. Although the Yankees were able to win the division series 3-1, Gonzalez hit 5 home runs in those 4 games. Quiet against Wells in Game 1 last night.
Well, there you see the starts that Pettitte made. And lately, he's been able to get the ball down. That's the key. He has to use his curveball more. Every once in a while, he falls in love with that cut fastball, and they hammer it. So if he's able to keep the ball down, his defense will be able to help him. And here's the defense that will play behind him. Andy Pettitte helps himself a lot. He has 7 pickoffs. But I think the key here is they've got Shane Spencer in left field.
Spencer and Jeter really got the loudest ovations from the crowd as they were introduced tonight. Joe Torre was telling us before the game, it took me 17 years to hit 3 grand slams in my career. That's my career total. This kid hit the jackpot 3 times in a week. Andy Pettitte has had his moments in postseason play. He won the pennant-clinching game in the LCS at Baltimore in '96. Then threw a masterpiece in Game 5 of the World Series, beating John Smoltz in Atlanta 1-0. But last year he was beaten twice by Jarrett Wright, 0-2 in the division series loss against the Indians. And a strike to McLemore. Derwood Merrill has the plate. Rich Garcia at first. Tim Cheetah at second. Drew Coble at third. Terry Kraft left field line. Jim Joyce right field line. 1-1.
That's a little different Pettitte right there, Bob. The first pitch was normal Pettitte, cut fastball inside, but that one looks like a little change.
Down and away, ball 2. 2 years ago, Pettitte was 21-8, the runner-up to Toronto's Pat Henkin for the Cy Young Award. Then he won 18 a year ago. This year, 16-11. Fastball grounded to the right side. Knobloch tosses him out, nearly pulled Martinez off the bag. He had trouble earlier in the year, Joe, on routine throws to first base, reminiscent of what Steve Sachs went through years back with the Dodgers.
Well, he had a tough time adjusting to New York. He didn't really get comfortable here until the middle of July, but he feels like he's playing well now. He's swinging the bat well.
Roberto Kelly, whose career began with the Yankees, now the Rangers are his 8th big league team. Take strike 1. It was Kelly who was dealt to the Reds by then Yankee general manager Gene Michael some 6 years ago for Paul O'Neill. What a deal for the Yanks. 1-1. Slow roller, Brocious gets it.
Well, early game jitters from both of the infielders.
If the Yankees were going to experience jitters, it should have been last night. A crisply played game, though. 2-0 Yankee victory. So much at stake for them to have the kind of season they had. And then, as everyone knows, baseball is the sport where in a short series you're most likely to get an atypical result. David Wells trimming his nails. Would be the starter in Game 5 if it comes back here for a 5th game. Greer. Brocious backhands. Pettitte works a perfect first. Yankees coming up in the Bronx. Joe Torre with a couple of changes for Game 2. We mentioned Shane Spencer in left field. Chad Curtis started, had a couple of base hits and a good base running play in the Game 1 win. Jorge Posada was the catcher for David Wells last night. It's Joe Girardi catching Andy Pettitte in Game 2. Rick Helling was 20-7 this year, although his ERA was 4.41. That's the highest earned run average for a 20-game winner in 60 years. Of course, offense is up all over baseball in the mid to late 90s, especially in the American League, but still 4.41 doesn't seem to go with 20 and 7.
Well, it really doesn't, but he pitched well enough in the games that he needed to. He kept his earned run average down when they didn't score any runs.
And that one's down to Knobloch, ball 1.
Well, the one thing about Helen, he changed his seasons around when he started using the changeup a lot more. The changeup is the pitch that has to be a key for him tonight to keep these Yankee hitters off balance.
Down and in, 2-0. Helling did his best pitching in September. He was 4-0, and his ERA was under 3 in that stretch.
Down the stretch, the entire Texas starting rotation pitched well. Stottlemyre displayed his skills last night. Helling and also Burkett.
Got the corner. 2 balls and a strike. Knobloch hit .265 this year. He's a career .304 hitter. Had the Yankees not had such a great season, the talk shows and the tabloids might have been on him. This might have been a disappointment for him. More or less overlooked with everything else they did. And of course, you'd still want him on your ball club. He's been a consistent all-star.
Well, they may have run him out of town, as you said, early in the season when he was making a lot of errors, was not getting on base, just was not producing well. But the team was playing so well. Everything's good when the team plays well and wins.
Meanwhile, his replacement with the Twins, Todd Walker, hit .326. Fouled off.
Early in the season, he was having a lot of problems, Bob, keeping the ball out of the air. He was hitting a lot of fly balls. But that's also the reason that his home run production was up. He had 17 home runs, and he hit a lot of home runs the second half, but that was because he was getting too many balls in the air.
Helling's 2-2 pitch. Got him. Helling's fastball is in the low 90s, but with the change and the good curve, he can sometimes sneak it past you. It looked faster than that to Knobloch.
Now let's take a look at the defense behind Helling tonight. The Texas Rangers feature Ivan Rodriguez behind the plate. He's won 6 straight Gold Gloves, but overall just an average defense, not a great defense. Clayton at shortstop, pretty good shortstop, but other than that, just an average defense.
Nothing average about Rodriguez, though. Both managers in this series are former catchers, Oates and Torrey, and both say, with all due respect to Johnny Bench and everybody else, that this is the best they've ever seen behind the plate.
Well, he's got such great footwork. Bobby has the quickest feet of any catcher that I've ever seen. And, you know, I'm a big fan of Johnny Bench's, but you're right. Ivan Rodriguez is something special.
1-0 pitch to Jeter. Misses. Here's what the scouts say about Rick Helling. Well, we'll get to it in a minute.
Well, there you see, fastball, slider changed, key to his success, and must keep the fastball and the slider away from the right-handers. And we've seen that so far. That's the way he pitched Knobloch. He stayed away from Knobloch, and then he came in with a fastball. And there you see, in this small ballpark, you have to stay away from the left-handed hitters.
1 out, nobody on. And the 2-1 to Jeter. 3 balls and a strike. Jeter was anxious to get going last night. He said it seemed like we clinched in April. Let's play a game that means something. They actually clinched a playoff spot in August. That's when they clinched the wild card at least, and they finished 23 ahead of the Red Sox. Full count.
The key to keeping the Yankees in the ballpark is when they get you into a hitter's count, 3 balls, 1 strike, 2-0, is to be able to make a good pitch. He had a 3-1 count there. He did not give in to Jeter. He hit the outside corner with a good fastball.
He walked him. Now O'Neill, 1 for 3 with a walk last night. 317 for the year. He's never hit under 300 in 6 seasons with the Yankees. You can just put him down for somewhere between 315 and 325, somewhere between 20 and 25 home runs, upwards of 100 RBIs every season.
The thing that makes him a good hitter, Bob, is he always gets himself into a hitter's count. You see, he attacked the first fastball because it was in the middle of the plate.
Helling gets ahead of him 0-2.
This entire Yankee team, they're like a group of veterans that know how to hit in all situations. They lead the league in on-base percentage because they will take a walk. They know how to hit. They know how to get themselves into hitters' counts. And hitters' counts are the ones where you know what the pitcher's going to throw.
The 0-2. Popped into shallow right. McLemore ranging back. And that's the second out. And look at O'Neill. He flails at the air with his bat and tosses it aside in disgust. He could get 10 straight hits, and if he makes an out on the 11th at bat, he acts like he hates himself.
Well, you have to give the pitcher credit sometimes, and Helling made 2 good pitches over the outside part of the plate, and then he threw a fastball in under the hands, and wasn't a lot that O'Neill could do. So you have to give the pitcher some credit on that one, Paul. Don't get mad at yourself.
Now Bernie Williams, 0 for 3 last night. Had a disappointing division series against the Indians in '97. Hit just 118 and made the last out in Game 5 with the tying run at second base. First pitch is a strike. Jeter stole 30 this year and was caught only 6 times. But Rodriguez gunned down an outlandish 56% of those who tried to steal against him. No one else, no other catcher, even hit 40%. (0-2).
I think at this point, Helling is surprising the Yankees with the velocity on his fastball and the movement. He has gone after both O'Neill and Bernie Williams here with nothing but fastballs. He struck Knobloch out with a fastball. So he's throwing his fastball really well, and he's got good movement on it.
Struck him out. So Helling puts 2 Ks in the book in the first. No score after 1. Gonzalez, Clark, and Rodriguez in the Texas second. What has Juan Gonzalez done for his career against Andy Pettitte? 10 for 21. 3 of the 10 hits, home runs. Lays off, ball 1.
I think you'll see a little different Pettitte in pitching to Gonzalez than he did in the past. In the past, he tried to get inside with that cut fastball. Immediately starts him off with a slow curveball. I think you're going to see him try to stay away from Gonzalez and not use the cut fastball unless he gets ahead in the count.
A high pop to the left side of the infield. When it comes down, it should be in Brocious' glove. Pettitte disposes of Gonzalez. That one might have hit the blimp. Tonight's overhead shots are courtesy of Stars and Stripes, based in Pompano Beach, Florida. At the controls, Captain Dan Thomas from Endeavor, Wisconsin.
Number 22.
Here's Will Clark, whose power numbers are way up. 23 homers, 102 RBIs, each figure his highest since 1991. As we mentioned earlier, the heart of the order didn't do much against Wells last night. Generally, Texas feasts on left-handed pitching. Clark is an exception, also Rusty Greer, but most of their better hitters are right-handed. Lifts one Williams' way. Bernie has it for the second out.
So far in this ball game, Pettitte has been able to keep his stuff down. He went upstairs on Gonzalez, but that was intentional. But other than that, he's been able to keep the ball down, and that's why he's been so successful so far.
Pettitte has retired the first 5 hitters he's faced, and he's thrown only 12 pitches. Ivan Rodriguez, statistically, they keep track of these things now, takes fewer pitches than any hitter in the American League. But he might want to go up there and look at a few here.
When he tries to hit everything to right field, whether it's inside or outside early in the count.
Ball one. Two and 0. Pettitte trying to regain his form tonight. Very shaky the last 5-6 weeks. Fouled off. Here's Rodriguez over the last 4 years. He was hitting .350 around the All-Star game. Dipped under .300 in the second half of the year. But still wound up at .321. With 21 homers and 91 knocked home. Fastball misses. 3-1.
Well, it's very difficult for a catcher to stay strong for the entire season in Texas because it is hot down there, and he catches so many ball games anyway, so many innings. So I think that's why he struggled a little bit down the stretch.
Full count. Johnny Oates, a former catcher himself, has tried to reduce Rodriguez's workload, but it's hard to convince him to sit down. He even plays winter ball in Puerto Rico, although he usually plays first base or DHs. He doesn't catch in winter ball, but he likes to play year-round. Oates got him down to 139 games played out of 162 this year. Two out, nobody on the 3-2 pitch from Pettitte to Rodriguez. Got him. 2 perfect innings for Andy Pettitte. No score after 1.5. Tino Martinez, Chili Davis, and Shane Spencer in the Yankees' second. The Yanks won 8 of 11 against Texas in the regular season and then took game 1 last night.
Bob, so far in this ballgame, both of these pitchers are pitching opposite of their scouting reports. Helling is using his fastball a lot more than he has his changeup, and Pettitte is pitching away from the right-handers more than he normally does.
A strike to Martinez. Tino has his supporters and the Yankee Stadium crowd. Generally speaking, his postseason production has not been up to his regular season standards. He was 1 for 3 last night. Helling's been consistently ahead of the Yankee hitters.
And the left-handers, he is doing exactly what he has to do, and that is keep the fastball away and spot it over the outside corner. Yankee left-handed hitters going up there looking for something they can pull early in the count.
Still 0-2.
Helling has kind of a sneaky motion. He's got a slow delivery, but he throws the ball. It looks like he's throwing darts the way he throws it. He uses his arm a little bit more than he does his legs to generate the power.
A ball and 2 strikes. Helling is a Stanford product. Jack McDowell and Mike Messina. Another couple of big league pitchers. Played their collegiate ball at Stanford. The 1-2 pitch. That'll make the seats. Helling is from Fargo, North Dakota, hometown of Roger Maris and the Angels' young star, Darren Erstad. Roger Maris, honored in Monument Park here at Yankee Stadium. His record stood for 37 years until McGuire and Sosa went past him this year. The 2-2 pitch. Prior to this year, Rick Helling had only 11 career victories, never more than 5 in any season. He was on the 1992 Olympic team. Rangers actually traded him away a couple of years ago to Florida, then got him back. Got him looking, the third strikeout for Rick Helling.
Well, he stayed away, and then he comes inside with a curveball. This is a beautiful pitch. Martinez looking for something away, right on the inside corner. The ball broke across the front of the plate, which is all it has to do.
So up comes Chili Davis, the 38-year-old DH, who takes high. Missed most of the season with a foot injury. Came back in time to hit .291 and just over 100 at-bats. Darryl Strawberry is not in uniform tonight for the Yankees amid growing concern. They still haven't diagnosed the cause of the stomach pains he's been experiencing the past couple of months. Further tests are scheduled for tomorrow. It seems unlikely he'll be available in this series, and since the series is already underway, the Yankees can't replace him. They'll have to go a man short. Cuts and misses. If they make it to the LCS, and if Strawberry can't go, then they can add a 25th player, probably the young outfielder Ricky Leday. High, 3-1. Full count. Helling finally getting a taste of the postseason. The Rangers traded him to Texas late in '96. He missed the Rangers postseason. Florida traded him back to Texas late in '97. He missed their run to the World Series. Bad timing. Finally gets the ball in a playoff game. In the air to left center field. Coming over is Rusty Greer to make a running catch.
One thing I'm noticing from Helling is he's got a very good fastball. Good jump by Rusty Greer. They have an adequate outfield, not a real good fast outfield.
Big response for Shane Spencer. He's 26 years old. He was never tabbed a can't-miss prospect. Never played in the majors before this year. Hit .241 with 30 homers a year ago at Columbus. Then this year, .322 with 18 homers. None of which foreshadows 10 homers in 67 at-bats in the big leagues. You want to stretch things, that's actually more home runs per time at bat in a short stretch than Mark McGuire.
That is a stretch. You are stretching now. But you're right, 10 home runs and 67 at bats.
And 3 of them grand slams. A ball and 2 strikes.
I'm impressed with Helling's fastball because I mean, he was able to throw Chili Davis a 3-1 fastball when Chili knew it was coming, and Chili couldn't do anything with it. He swung and missed. And he's been able to throw his fastball and get ahead of the count. They're taking it because they're not ready for it.
Just missed, 2-2.
And Rodriguez wanted that pitch. They stayed away, and then went inside hard. And he thought he had it. Now watch Rodriguez's glove. Watch when he catches the ball. This will tell you when a catcher wants a pitch. Watch this. Watch him drop his glove. He drops his glove.
And now Spencer drops this one on Helling, deep left center, and gone! Unbelievable. The game's first hit. And Spencer continues his Roy Hobbs or Shoeless Joe act.
Well, we talked about Helling's fastball. Well, this one he gets in the middle of the plate. And watch the location. Middle of the plate and up a little bit. And Spencer puts a charge into it, and the fans aren't going to shut up until he comes out.
Did you see the look on his face when he connected? His mouth popped wide open as if to say, wow, look what I did this time. One nothing Yankees. Brocious fouls it off. Well, Torrey didn't start him last night, opting to go with better defense in Chad Curtis in left, and Curtis got a couple of hits. Spencer wastes no time making his presence felt here.
Well, he was the American League Player of the Week for the last week of the season.
Two-one pitch. Out of play. Well, he now has 11 home runs in 68 big league at-bats.
And so far in this ballgame, he's the only one that's been able to get the barrel out in front on Helling. I mean, Brocious is fouling it off to the right. Everyone has been behind his fastball, except Shane Spencer.
It holds at 2-2 to Brocious. Joe Girardi is on deck. Sitting between a couple of veterans, Paul O'Neill and Chili Davis, saying, guys, is it really this easy in the big leagues? What took me so long to get here? Line drive, base hit. At the very least, that gets them through the bottom of the order. If Girardi concludes the inning, then their leadoff man Knobloch would start the third, so it's an important hit.
It's only the second curveball that he's thrown for a strike in this ball game. And Brocious rips it to left field.
Girardi hit .276 this year, splitting time with Jorge Posada. Rodriguez loves to throw, bluffs it that time. You think he and Clark have some sort of signal between them?
Definitely. They probably just make some eye contact, and Will tell him he's going to go back to the bag.
Another line drive. In comes Kelly. It drops in front of him. On his way to third is Brocious. Runners at the corners.
This is why the Yankees are such a good ball club. They just keep coming at you. Not always with the long ball, but they will always hustle, make things happen. They put the ball in play and make you make a play. Roberto Kelly pretty lucky right there. That ball could have bounced away from him, and Brocious would have been able to score, but Brocious was on his way around to third anyway.
Well, Helling was cruising. Then Spencer took him deep. And Brocious and Girardi followed with sharp singles. Dick Bosman, the pitching coach, to the mound. There are many ways to express what a complete ball club the Yankees have been this year. But here's one. In a season in which 32 big leaguers hit 30 homers or more, the Yankees didn't have a single player with as many as 30. Tino Martinez led them with 28. But when Shane Spencer reached 10 at the end of the regular season, it gave them 10 players in double figures in home runs. And so as a team, they have the second highest home run total in franchise history, behind the Maris and Mantle Yankees of 1961.
As Tim Raines said to me, we have a lot of stars, we just don't have that superstar.
Knobloch struck out in the first and takes high. Paul Molitor, was bound for the Hall of Fame, now finishing up his career with the Twins, said this about the Yankees: they're so good and they're so balanced, no one feels a sense of urgency to be the guy. They can all relax. One and one to Knobloch. 1-0 Yankees as they bat in the bottom of the second. One and two. They give Knobloch a huge gap in right center field.
That may explain why he hit 260 this year, Bob, instead of his customary 300. That is where he hit the ball when he played for Minnesota. He hit a lot of balls to right center, left center. And watching him swing today, I mean, he's trying to pull everything, and his head is actually moving off the ball.
Just as I said that, Kelly moved over toward right center. Now with Knobloch behind on the count, 1 and 2, and less likely to pull the ball. Rodriguez blocks it.
This situation in yesterday's ball game, the Yankees stole a run in this situation. They tried a double steal. See Rodriguez, as you said, he is the best catcher in the American League, and he shows why there. They stole a run last night in this situation. They sent the runner from first base, and Brocious was on third, and he scored on the back end of the double steal. Front end.
It holds at 2 and 2. He's already thrown 50 pitches after a comparatively easy first inning. The Yankees making him sweat on a muggy night here in the second. Brocious at third, Girardi at first. They each single. And he strikes Knobloch out for the second time to strand 2. But how about Shane Spencer? He drives this one over the 399 sign in left center field. And the Yankees take a 1-0 lead after 2. Andy Pettitte has retired the first 6 hitters he's faced, now staked to a 1-0 lead. He goes to work in the third and starts Todd Zeile with a strike. 16 and 11 sounds like a pretty good record, but when your team was 114 and 48, well, just do the math. He accounted for 14% of their victories and 23% of their defeats. And his ERA was up over 4, which is not like him.
I think one of the things that happens to you, Bob, when you got to such a great start, winning 21 games your rookie year, you think you have this game figured out. And he did not make many adjustments the next 2 years.
On 3 pitches, Zeal sits down. Let's go to Jim Gray.
All right, Bob. Well, after Shane Spencer hit his home run, he was coming through and getting kidded by a lot of the guys, also receiving some congratulations. Timmy Raines went up to him and he said, hey, what is it exactly that you've got that all of us don't have, and can you sell it? And then Chili Davis walked over and said, hey, you know, you're really unbelievable, Shane. You're making this all look too easy. You're making the rest of us look bad. Bob?
Raines not in the lineup. Davis, the DH, not on the field. Mike Sims takes a ball. Joe Torre told us Tim Raines probably will play in Texas. Of course, if Shane Spencer keeps hitting the ball this way, it's going to be tough for anybody but him to be penciled in left field. 1-1. Pettitte gets ahead of Sims, a ball and 2 strikes.
And that's the pitch that he likes to throw to right-handed hitters, that cut fastball down and in. But he has not used it nearly as much as he normally does. You see the cut spin on it? Fastball that goes in on the right-handed hitter.
Bounces one up there, 2-2. Sims is 31 years old. He's always been a part-timer in the major leagues. But he hit 16 home runs and 186 at-bats this year. It's not quite Shane Spencer, but it's a pretty good ratio. Got to update that Spencer stat. I think he's improved upon it. Did he hold up? No. He's gone. Second strikeout in the inning and 3rd in a row dating back to the last out of the 2nd for Pettitte.
You have other hitters watching the hitters that are being struck out. This is the pitch I told you that would be important for him off the plate. The cutting fastball off the plate. Most of the season he was leaving that cutter over the plate and they were hammering it. And he's also changing speeds very well. He's throwing more curveballs and he's using the outer half of the plate. Most of the time when you faced Andy Pettitte in the past, all you had to do was look middle in if you were a right-handed hitter.
Now Royce Clayton, the number 9 hitter. New left side of the infield late this season for Texas, as they acquired Clayton and Zeal. Gone are Kevin Elster and Fernando Tatis. Rolled foul. Stottlemyre, Clayton, and Zeal. Good late season pickups by their GM Doug Melvin. Of course, the deal they'll always regret in Texas is the one a few years back that sent Wilson Alvarez and Sammy away to the White Sox for Harold Baines. Baines was an established star. It looked good at the time. Jams him, little flare into right. Knobloch chases it down and pins it against his chest. Pettitte has been perfect through 3. The Sporting News joins the team NBC Sports has put together for in-depth sports coverage online. Baseball's postseason is all at MSNBCSports.com, including a look at how Joe Torre's past has made him a better manager today. The Sporting News, now part of the team at MSNBCSports.com. Up come the Yankees in the 3rd. Jeter, O'Neill, and Williams. And Derek rolls it foul. He walked his first time up. When Jeter was a rookie, Joe Torre said of him, look, I just want him to make the plays, the routine plays, and hit 250. I'll be happy. And Jeter responded by saying, I think I can do better than that. I guess he was right.
He's gotten better each year. I mean, every year he's improved his batting average, improved his play. mean, he's just becoming a very solid shortstop. And he's becoming one of the leaders on this ball club. Breaking ball that he fouls at home plate, and it gets him on his left knee. That's why it's a foul ball.
I asked Torrey if he was saying that at the time just to lower the expectations and not put too much pressure on Jeter. He said, no, I honestly didn't know what to expect of him. Hadn't seen him enough to realize what a good player he was.
I don't think anyone expected him to be this good this quickly.
1-2. He hit 10 home runs each of his first 2 seasons, nearly doubled it this year to 19, while batting .324. Off the corner, 2-2.
Unfortunately, he's in a league where home runs is still a thing, and you have 2 shortstops hitting a lot of home runs. Nomar Garcia-Parra at Boston, and of course Rodriguez at Seattle.
Helling ready and his 2-2 pitch. Jeter hangs in. And another 2-2 pitch. He falls away from it. It hits the bat and rolls foul. Jeter's okay.
Fastball that runs up and in. You see Jeter started and was lucky to get out of the way. Kind of dives in a little bit. Fastball up and in.
Good at bat for Jeter. Making Helling work, and Helling has already thrown a lot of pitches. We're just in the 3rd.
When you play the Yankees, you are going to throw a lot of pitches because they're always trying to make you work. They do not swing at your first pitch if it is pitcher's pitch. If it's knee high and away, they will take it.
And another foul ball. There aren't many single-digit uniforms remaining for the Yankees. Most of them have been retired. When they gave Derek Jeter number 2, that said something right there. That's a Stars number. This will be the 10th pitch of this at-bat. Full count.
Well, Helling is making a lot of good pitches. Jeter's just fouling them back. That was a pretty good pitch to hit right there if you were looking for a fastball.
Helling's beginning to regard Jeter like gum on his shoe. Just can't get rid of him. He's hit 8 foul balls during this at-bat. Called strike 3, although Jeter thought he had the walk.
Well, Helling has been spotting the ball very well on the outside corner to both left-handers and right-handers. Watch the target right there from Rodriguez. Ball moves back. You can see the ball moving back. And watch how Rodriguez catches the ball. He just kind of cradles it. He doesn't move it.
Jeter shakes his head in disagreement. The 5th strikeout for Helling. Here's O'Neill, popped out his first time. Strike 1. Hit hard, and it's by the diving Clark for extra bases. O'Neill wheels around first as Gonzalez gets it back in. A one-out double.
And Paul O'Neill didn't have any success hitting the fastball the first time up. So he baits Helling into a breaking ball count. He gets the breaking ball and he rips it past the diving Will Clark at first base. Will Clark isolated. He tries to get over there, but that ball was just hit too hard. Didn't have time to react.
Now Bernie Williams, the American League batting champion at .339, went 2 for 2 on the season's last day to edge the Red Sox Mo Vaughn. Struck out his first time up tonight. Hitless so far in the series.
And like the first time up, he starts him away. He struck him out with 3 fastballs away in the first inning, and immediately he goes that way with a runner at second base. If you're a left-handed hitter in this ballpark and they throw you anything inside or anything off speed, you just about have to swing. And that's basically what Paul O'Neill did. Took a fastball away and then pulled the breaking ball.
Williams lays off, a ball and a strike.
You can see Rodriguez moving around behind the plate now. He moved inside before the pitch and then moved back outside where he wanted it. He's trying to keep Bernie Williams from looking for a pitch away because they got him away, out away the first time up.
Threw the fastball by him upstairs.
Bernie Williams is a better low ball hitter from the left side and a high ball hitter from the right side.
That's generally true.
Yes.
With exceptions. For example, Mark McGwire's a very good low ball hitter, right-handed hitter.
He's a low ball hitter because he wants to lift everything.
The 1-2. Bouncing ball. Clark backs up. Helling covers. They get Williams. O'Neill advances to third. Here's tomorrow's playoff schedule. Padres and Astros, after a day off today, resume with Game 2 on ESPN at 4 Eastern Time. Fox has the Cubs against the Braves. Atlanta's up 1-0 in that series. That's at 8 Eastern. We're back Friday with Game 3 of this series from the ballpark in Arlington. Scheduled pitchers: Aaron Seeley, 19-game winner, and David Cohn, who won 20. O'Neill at third with 2 down. And Martinez fouls it off.
And you can see the Yankee hitters really kind of giving up a little bit, trying to fight it off the other way. That was the first pitch of the count. Normally, if you do not get a good pitch to hit, they do not attack it. But he had a runner at third, fastball away again, and he just kind of flips it off to the left foul. Not a good swing there by Martinez. Helling is still keeping them off balance.
And he gets ahead 0-2.
That's the pitch he struck him out on in the first inning, but he threw it for a strike. If you can continually pitch away and then throw a breaking ball in to left-handed hitters, you will have some success.
Rodriguez sets up outside, and Martinez lifts one to center field. Roberto Kelly over and calling Gonzalez off, and that ends the Yankee third. No runs, a hit, but O'Neill's double goes to waste. Still 1-0 New York. Top of the order in the top of the fourth: McLemore, Kelly, and Greer for Texas. Pettitte perfect to this point. Breaking ball down and in. Through 12 innings in this division series, the Rangers haven't scored. They have 5 hits in 41 at-bats. Their team average is 122 at this moment.
This is the second time through the order, so they've watched him pitch to 8 other hitters. Now it's up to McLemore to make some adjustments. As I said, he's gone away from his normal pitching pattern, so now it's up to the hitters to adjust to what he has changed.
In there for a strike. The veteran McLemore hit .247 this year, but under .200 in the season's second half. He's bothered by shaky knees. Hasn't been quite the table setter the second half of the year that he was prior to the All-Star break. Rolls it to second and Knobloch throws him out as we go to Jim Gray.
Thank you very much, Bob. I'm now here with Frank Torrey. Frank, of course, the inspiration back in '96, the brother of Joe. He had a heart transplant 2 years ago. This is his first playoff game, and it's been just an unbelievably emotional scene here as you walk through the stands. Frank, what goes through you now that you have an opportunity to be here at the game and what you've been through?
It's, you know, I've had a lot of thrills in my life, but this is the greatest one because both other playoffs and during this series, I was on my back. And to be here and to be able to hold my brother and give him a kiss, it's great.
You get your second-year checkup here in just a couple of weeks. How are things going with your heart?
Well, in 2 weeks, it'll be 2 years. And I'm happy to say that it's a real fantasy because I'm feeling great. And the doctors tell me I'm doing spectacular.
Frank, it's great to see you. You're an inspiration to us all. We're glad you're feeling well.
Thank you, Jim, and thank you, New York, and thank you, NBC.
Bob, back to you.
And thank you, Jim Gray. Frank Torrey preceded brother Joe into the major leagues. Slick fielding first baseman, primarily with the Milwaukee Braves. He was good with the glove.
Bob, so far this inning, Pettitte has fallen behind the first two hitters. And if you're the Rangers, that's what you're looking for. You want to get ahead in the count, and you will get a better pitch to hit. When he's ahead in the count, they've been swinging a lot of pitches out of the zone.
2-2 to Roberto Kelly. We caught a glimpse of Mel Stottlemyre in the Yankee dugout, a bit less conflicted than he might have been last night when his son Todd pitched a great game for the Rangers, but wound up on the short end of a 2-0 score, beaten by David Wells. It would be Stottlemyre and Wells again if we play a fifth game back here on Sunday night. Pettitte's 2-2 to Kelly. Off-speed pitch, cut out and missed. That's 4 strikeouts for Pettitte.
And this is not the Andy Pettitte that they're used to seeing. When he gets ahead, normally he will throw a cut fastball inside. This is a curveball. An overhand curveball. Kelly actually laid on it because he just didn't believe it was going to break down sharp enough to be a strike.
Now Rusty Greer. Grounded to third his first time up. Hit .306 for the year and hit lefties to the tune of .335. As a team, the Rangers hit better against left-handed pitching than any team in the major leagues. Can't prove it by the first game, plus 3 innings plus in this one against Wells and Pettitte. In there, 1-2.
Well, this is the second time through the order, and he's going to the curveball a lot more than he did the first time through.
His 2-2 pitch. Greer tries to check his swing, and he did. They check with Drew Coble at third, who says he didn't go around.
This is the 5th straight breaking ball that he has thrown to Greer, but you can see he did check his swing.
Gonzalez on deck. In the air to center. Williams going back. Not quite to the track. 12 batters faced and 12 retired so far by Andy Pettitte. Next one to the switch hitting DH. Cut on and missed.
A lot of people felt that they would be a much better ball club if they would have had Chili Davis. I don't know if he could have added any more than what they got out of, Darryl Strawberry, Tim Raines, etc. But he would have been the everyday DH. And Chili Davis is one of the fine hitters in the American League. I mean, he's a run producer, what he is. He drives in 100 runs. You put runners out there, and he will pick them up for you.
1-2. Pretty tough to be much better than 114 and 48.
That's what I mean. I don't know if he would have made them better. He would have been a better player to have on the team, but I don't know if the team would have been better.
Helling works 1-2 and gets the called third strike for his 6th strikeout. The boos for the call quickly changed to cheers for Shane Spencer. Here's what he did his first time up.
Fastball over the middle of the plate, and that's the first fastball that they were able to turn around. Everyone else has been late on it, but this young fella said, hey, going deep, right over the 399 sign by the monument.
Keep in mind, this guy is 26 years old, not a kid in baseball terms. Spent a long stretch in the minors. Never tab, can't miss. Out of nowhere to do what he's done the past 6 weeks or so. Hit .373 with 10 homers and 67 at-bats in the regular season. Went deep in his only at-bat so far in the postseason. Hits it through the box for a base hit.
Well, he started him off with a breaking ball and then tried to go away with a fastball. He hit a fastball out of the ballpark. This fastball again does not get away. Look at that. Fastball up and over the plate, and he grounds it right back up the middle. See the target? He misses the target, and Spencer hits it back through the middle.
I'm not sure Spencer can believe it all. Here's Brocious, who singled his first time up. Hit an even 300 for the year. In the air toward the gap in right center field. Well hit and on its way out of here. It's the bottom of the order that's done the damage against Helling tonight. 3-0 Yankees.
Well, I must admit that surprised me. He hit the ball, looked like a high fastball. I didn't think he hit it that well. High fastball away. And Brocious hits it over the right field wall. See, that's up and away. But this is a small ballpark in right field.
And another base hit as Girardi singles. The 7th, 8th, and 9th spots for the Yankees tonight are 6 for 6. Paul O'Neill has a double. That accounts for their 7th hit.
Another fastball. This one's up also and grounded right back up the middle. Helling was in pretty good fielding position, but he couldn't flag it down. Hit pretty sharply.
Bosman to the mound once again. Esteban Loaiza and the veteran left-hander Tony Fossas get up. Just about everybody knows that you want to get into Texas's bullpen early. They've got the great closer in Wetland. Their long and middle relief is shaky, to put it kindly. Stottlemyre gave him 8 strong innings last night in defeat. Coming up on NBC.
From the producer of ER comes the next great American drama. Coming NBC Fridays in 2 weeks. Trinity.
That's Trinity, coming soon to NBC Fridays. Knobloch has struck out twice.
You can see Helling has been hurt on his fastball this inning, so now he's going to the breaking ball. All high fastballs this inning. The home run to Brocious, the base hit up the middle by Girardi, and the Shane Spencer single, all on high fastballs.
The 1-0 pitch. Helling tied Roger Clemens, David Cone, and Tom Glavine for the Major League lead in victories with 20. He received a congratulatory bottle of champagne for his 20th win, but he put it unopened in a trophy case. He will not drink alcohol. In 1982, when he was only 11, he lost his brother Randy, who was killed by a drunk driver. He dedicated the 20th win to his brother's memory. Said his death turned my life around. I went from a class clown to a serious, more focused person. 1-2 to Knobloch. Johnny Oates, with his pitching coach Dick Bosman alongside. Three-0 Yankees in the 4th. Check swing foul. Scott Brocious with a 2-run homer. Tacked on to Spencer's solo shot in the 2nd. 3-0 here in the 4th. Andy Pettitte, meanwhile, hasn't allowed a base runner yet. The 1-2. And Knobloch hangs in. Even if Helling keeps the Yankees in check and they don't add to their 3-0 lead, soon it will get to the point where they'll have to get him out of there, if only because of the pitch count. Maybe not this inning or next, but it'll be tough for him to go to the 7th or 8th.
Well, he has basically done his job, and that's to keep the Yankees in check and give his team an opportunity to score. They just have not been able to solve Andy Pettitte.
In the air to right, Gonzalez hasn't played well and takes it in shallow right field. So Knobloch's 0 for 3.
.88 pitches in only 3 2/3 inning. That's a lot of pitches.
The bottom of the Yankee order has really punished him. Jeter has walked and struck out. Slow breaking ball in there.
You still have to be impressed with Helling because, I mean, he's making a lot of quality pitches. He's made a couple of mistakes, and when he made those mistakes, the Yankees have hit him out of the ballpark. They could have fouled him off.
1-1. swings and misses, 1-2. Remember, the Rangers are a very explosive offensive team. One of the most formidable lineups in either league. Wells shut them down last night. Pettitte has done so to this point. But if Helling and the bullpen keep them close, they can erupt at any moment. The 1-2 pitch. Rodriguez stays in front of it.
That's what we talk about when we talk about the quick feet of Rodriguez. He's able to get his entire body. Watch this, how he slides over here. When he gets his entire body in front of it, a lot of catchers are just trying to knock that ball down. He catches most of them. Great quickness.
Bouncing ball, Clayton to his right, gets the force with a flip to McLemore. But Scott Brocious, who has given the Yankees a big RBI man at the bottom of the order, hits one out to the opposite field, and they pad their lead to 3-0 after 4. Juan Gonzalez starts it in the 5th. Take a look at what he's done just the past few seasons. He's never been a 50 home run man, but he's had 5 seasons already of 40 homers or more. He's topped 100 RBIs 6 times in his career, and he doesn't turn 29 until October 16th.
And a lot of people think he's going to be the American League's most valuable player again.
Make a very strong case for him. First one from Pettitte in the 5th is a strike.
The Rangers are really just going to have to make some adjustments. They're going to have to go ahead and move back up on the plate or something, because they are looking for pitches inside, and Pettitte has been able to just stay away, and then go off the plate inside.
That's a fair ball over third. There goes the perfect game. Gonzalez heads for second. Spencer's throw. Close. Safe.
He dropped the ball.
Gonzalez checking to see if Knobloch's okay.
The ball was there in time. Knobloch just dropped it when he made the tag. Well, they try to come inside. This is what the mistakes he made before. He didn't get the ball inside far enough. Gonzalez rips it down the line. And a good play here by Spencer. He comes up and he fires a strike to second base. Now watch, Knobloch has the ball. He's waiting for him, and he kicks it out of his glove. Well, he never actually controlled it, but that was his fault. The ball beat him. Now watch, he has the ball, but he doesn't have it secured in his glove, and it's kicked out by Gonzalez. Not a good tag there by Knobloch.
Here's Clark as the Rangers look to get back in the game. So Spencer has done everything right. He's homered, he's singled, made a perfect throw to second that should have cut Gonzalez down.
But I like the fact that Gonzalez hustled. Even though you're 3 runs down, you have to keep forcing the action.
Dribbled foul. Gonzalez at second with nobody out in the Texas 5th. In the air to center field. Bernie Williams started in, now goes back to the track to take it. Gonzalez tags and advances to third with 1 out.
Well, if you're going to make an out, make it a quality out, and that's what Will Clark did. He moved the runner up to third with less than 2 outs. And it's still early in this ball game. You don't have to get them all back at once. Will Clark takes another fastball. He hits it high in the air. He just barely misses it. Bernie Williams back deep near the track, and Gonzalez tags up easily and moves over to third base. So now Rodriguez, who struck out his first time up. If you're the Rangers and you're Rodriguez is hit, you have to put the ball in play.
Pettitte has struck out 4.
Until you show a pitcher that you can score against him, he has his confidence and he will keep it. And they need to prove to him that they can score in this ball game tonight, and that will change the way he pitches the rest of this ball game.
One and one. Two balls and a strike to Rodriguez.
And anyone that's watched Andy Pettitte pitch over the last couple of years, they just wonder, he's throwing more pitches away, not using his cut fastball, and that's why he's been successful so far. He cannot get Rodriguez to bite on those 2 low sinkers, which is what he's trying to get him to do. He wants to keep the ball on the infield.
His 2-1 pitch gets the corner at the knees.
And Rodriguez very upset with that pitch. He thought it was off the plate and low. And from that angle, he may have had a question.
How the umpires hate that overhead camera, which is sometimes deceptive in their defense. The 2-2 pitch. And Rodriguez spoils it.
The deception there was that you could see Girardi pull the ball back. You can watch the catcher most of the time, and he will tell you whether that ball got the outside corner or not.
Todd Zeile waits on deck. Another 2-2 pitch. Lined hard, base hit, and the Rangers are on the board. Gonzalez trots home on the RBI single from Rodriguez. 3-1 New York.
Well, 2 times this inning he's gone back to his old pattern, and that is of throwing the cut fastball inside. And both times these 2 hitters have been sitting on it and ripped it to left field. This is the cut fastball inside again, and Rodriguez pulls it to left field. He stayed away, low and away to Rodriguez the first couple of strikes. Tried to come in and he pulls it to left field. Did the same thing to Gonzalez. He got him out in the first inning with a fastball up and away. Tried to throw him a cut fastball in this time, and he hit a double. So maybe the Rangers are starting to feel that he's going to fall back into his old pattern. And if he does, I think they will be able to hit him.
After 13 1/3 innings, the Rangers have their first run of the series. Torrey flanked by Zimmer and Stottlemyre, and Willie Randolph alongside Stott. Zeile struck out in the 3rd. Rips it foul. Those are Zeile's combined numbers for the year. The Rangers are his 3rd team. Dodgers, Marlins, Texas.
Every time Pettitte has tried to come inside this inning, they've hit the ball hard.
Rodriguez at first with 1 down. 0-1 pitch to Zeile. This is ball 1. Zeile is with his 7th team since 1995, which makes something of a statement about modern baseball. It's not that Zeile is a superstar, but he's a very good player. Down and in, 2-1. Nice play by Girardi. Girardi the better catcher, Osada the better hitter.
And Girardi usually catches Pettitte anyway. There's a breaking ball down and in.
Girardi is probably going to catch David Cone in Game 3 in Texas on Friday. Then back to Posada for Hernandez on Saturday in Game 4, if there is a Game 4.
And if you're Ivan Rodriguez, you cannot afford to get picked off here. Andy Pettitte has one of the best pickoff moves / balks in baseball.
Rodriguez is sneaky. He stole 9 this year without being caught. Fouled at the plate, 2-2. Zeal closed the regular season on a tear. He's always been streaky. One for 3 last night in the opener. 0 for 1 tonight. Gets a little piece of it and stays alive.
Good pitch there by Pettitte. It was a curveball, and it was going to be out of the strike zone, which is what you want with 2 strikes. Nice pitch.
Mendoza gets up in the Yankee bullpen. And it's popped up. Jeter wants it and takes it.
Another good pitch by Pettitte. Fastball up and out under the hand, out of the strike zone.
And providing our shots from above, the Goodyear Blimp Stars and Stripes. The Goodyear Blimps are now in their 4th decade of live sports coverage, dating to the 1960 Orange Bowl. Now it's up to the DH, Mike Sims. He struck out his first time up. Breaking ball is in there. The Rangers with a run on the 5th to cut it to 3-1. Rodriguez has a very short lead and gets back easily.
There are pitchers that you just do not try to steal off of, Andy Pettitte being one, unless you are a good base stealer, and there are catchers you do not run off of, and that happens to be Rodriguez.
Pettitte, 26 years old, 6'5", 225, from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Slow roller, Brocious. Has time, gets Sims, and the Rangers settle for 1. After 4½, 3-1 New York. Well, Joe, Rick Helling was in trouble an inning back, but he kept it reasonably tidy, and now the Rangers creep to within 2 at 3-1.
Well, they've made a dent into Andy Pettitte, and that's what you want to do. You've proven to him that you can score off of him. Now I think he'll make a few more mistakes. I still think that Texas is very much in this ball game because they have such good hitters on their ball club. They're not just going to go away easily as they did yesterday.
Paul O'Neill swings on the first pitch in the bottom of the 5th. McLemore gobbles it up, and there's the first out. O'Neill's now 1 for 3. Up comes Bernie Williams. Fairly restrained reaction from O'Neill to the ground out. No helmets thrown or bats crushed. You know, they say that baseball is a game where you have to stay on an even keel. It's not a once-a-week emotion sport like football. You play 162 games. The cliche is don't get too high, don't get too low. Yet O'Neill seems to be able to invest all kinds of intensity and have these outbursts directed at himself, not at anybody else, and still be productive.
Well, sometimes that helps fire you up for the next at bat. You think about the mistakes you made in that at bat, and you do not let them happen again. But I agree with you. You have to try to stay on an even keel.
Williams shows bunt and takes strike 2.
I was impressed with the Rangers starters down the stretch, and I'm still impressed with them. And you come into Yankee Stadium as they did yesterday's Todd Stottlemyre held them to 2 runs, and so far Rick Helling has only given up 3. He's made a couple of bad pitches, and they hit them out of the ballpark. But he has really done his job. It's just a lack of Texas offense is the reason that they're behind in this ball game. And if they would have come in here thinking, well, we'll hold the Yankees to 5 runs in 14 innings, we would maybe win both games, but we definitely would be ahead in 1.
The 0-2 pitch. Rodriguez wants him to check, but he didn't go around. Well, if you told Johnny Oates before last night's game that Todd Stottlemyre would pitch a complete game, Yankees didn't bat in the 9th, go 8 innings, give up only 2 runs, he'd never have to get to that shaky middle relief, he'd definitely take his chances, even against David Wells. And Williams goes down swinging.
Tell you what, he has made great pitches to Bernie Williams, the American League batting champion tonight. He's been able to throw the fastball by him, which keeps him looking for a fastball, and then he's able to, this time he throws him some breaking balls. See, our same fastball, he's throwing the fastball by him. 2 fastballs right by him. That one's even by him. He checked on that one, but he does not check on this one. That's just good pitching there by Rick Helling.
7 strikeouts for Helling. Williams twice. Bernie's now 0 for 6 in the series. And a ball high to Martinez. Where will he be next year? He's at the head of the free agent class. The 2-0 pitch, skied to left. Rusty Greer comes in. And after a shaky 4th, Helling makes quick work of the Yankees in the 5th. Still 3-1 New York. It'll be Royce Clayton to start it in the top of the 6th. Then back to the top of the order for Mark McLemore and Roberto Kelly. Clayton hit .285 for the Rangers. .251 overall, counting his work with the Cardinals. 0 for 3 with a couple of strikeouts last night, and he popped out in his only at-bat in this game. Clayton thought of himself as a top of the batting order guy earlier in his career, but he doesn't walk enough really to hit 1 or 2 for you. That's a foul ball.
Because he has been knocked around in 5 of his last 7 starts, Pettitte's psyche is still a little shaky. So if you can put a couple of runners on here after scoring a run last inning, I think you may get a chance to catch up in this ball game. It's a breaking ball from Pettitte. He's thrown a lot more breaking balls the last couple of innings than he was in the beginning of the ball game.
Clayton trying to shake it off after fouling that one down off his left foot. If the Yankees hang on and win this game, day off tomorrow, and then they'd send David Cone to the mound, one of the great big game pitchers of his generation, trying to wrap it up in 3 straight so they can get back home and await the Boston-Cleveland winner in the ALCS, have their pitching all in perfect order, never have to go to their 4th starter in that series, in this series. But that's looking a bit down the road. While we have a chance, we remind you to tune in Saturday for an NBC Sports double feature. First, we present the 1998 Basketball Hall of Fame enshrinement ceremony featuring the induction of Larry the Legend, Larry Bird. That's at 1:30 Eastern Time. We'll delay it and show it at 3 Pacific Time. Then Notre Dame football continues on NBC as the Stanford Cardinal take on the Fighting Irish. Notre Dame looking to keep the momentum going after last week's comeback against Purdue. Clayton's ready. And a called strike, 1-2. In the dirt, 2 balls and 2 strikes. The Yankees have the greater depth in their starting pitching, on their bench, in their middle relief. But in a 5-game series, all those differences don't necessarily come into play. That's why the Rangers feel if they get out of here with a split, the Yankees have to be sweating a bit. Clayton is done.
Well, Clayton thinks the pitch is outside. Derwood Merle says it's strike 3 right on the outside corner. Let's take a look and see if he actually swings at this with the pitch. But I don't think he swung at it. Derwood called him out on the pitch. Now you see Royce Clayton very upset.
5th strikeout for Pettitte.
Everyone believed that if you had a chance of defeating the Yankees, it would be in a short series like 5 games rather than the normal 7-game series that you'll have in the LCS. So I'm sure that's one of the reasons that Johnny Oates was not as concerned about having the 2nd best record in the league, you know, beating Cleveland out so that he could play them. Actually would have been the 3rd best record because Boston had the 2nd best record.
The 2-0 pitch. And that's a strike. Under the present setup, the team with the best record is supposed to play the wild card unless that team comes from the same division, which is why the Yankees couldn't play the Red Sox.
Which is something I think needs to be adjusted.
3 balls and a strike.
If you're the best team in the league, you should play the wild card team. If you have the best record, that's why you set it up that way. It shouldn't matter whether they're in your own division or not.
Well, since they've expanded the playoffs, you hear more and more people saying it doesn't make any sense for the first round to be best of 5, while the LCS and World Series are best of 7. Called strike, full count, because by definition, the first round is the only one that has to include the wild card and a lesser division winner in all likelihood now that they've gone to 3 divisions. So why not make it a more genuine test? Here's the payoff. Got him.
Well, I think the plate has been expanded a little bit here in the late innings. Take a look at how Pettitte set him up for this last pitch. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Here's a borderline strike. Strike 2. Now this pitch is the one that he was upset about. You see, McLemore, like Clayton, felt the ball was outside. And McLemore is still letting Derwood Merle know that he thought it was outside.
Merrill definitely with the generous zone tonight. Here's Kelly. Well hit right center field. Williams on the run along with O'Neill, and that ball is up against the fence at the 385 sign as Roberto Kelly cruises in with a 2-out double.
Well, that makes that last call by Derwood even more important. Would have been a runner on first base. This is the first guy I've seen actually go out and get a pitch. That pitch was away. Roberto Kelly went the other way with it. And he thought he might have got enough of it to get it out of the ballpark, but he did not. Hits right at the base of the wall, so he's at second base with a double.
Stottlemyre to the mound. Greer at the plate. Gonzalez on deck with 2 out. Nelson, the right-hander. Lloyd, the lefty. They had some real concern about Nelson, who was out with a bulging disc in his back. But his last several outings, Nelson has thrown the ball well. He is a very important middleman. Try to get them to Mariano Rivera.
Tony Cloninger, the bullpen coach, helping him get warm.
Greer's 0 for 2.
Big at bat here for a guy that drove in 100 runs for the Texas Rangers.
Strike one.
That is 7 straight breaking balls that he has thrown to Greer.
We're in the 6th. 3-1 Yanks. Down and away. Oates has a bit of a Yankee connection. Rick Cerrone's back up on the 1980 team. They won 103 games but lost in the playoffs to Kansas City. 1-2.
9 straight breaking balls. I don't think I've ever seen a pitcher throw any left-handed hitter 9 straight breaking balls. But this is a big at bat, and he doesn't want to make a mistake with his fastball. And Greer just kind of waves at that breaking ball.
Two balls and 2 strikes.
10 and counting.
The rap, if there was one on Pettitte while he was struggling, was that perhaps he had fallen in love with that cut fastball and was throwing it too often. Not tonight.
Well, that has always been one of the problems he faced, because the cut fastball is a great pitch as long as you locate it properly. But if you miss with it, it becomes a mediocre fastball.
Here's the 2-2.
Greer is going to wake up tonight seeing breaking balls in his sleep.
He hangs in well against lefties, though, as witness his .335 batting average against left-handed pitching this year. Stands well off the plate and deep in the box.
Very big run at second base.
Another 2-2 pitch. The Indians and Red Sox are tied at a game apiece. The Padres lead the Astros 1-0. The Braves took game 1 from the Cubs. The Yankees trying to go up 2-0 in this division series, leading 3-1 as the Rangers bat in the 6th. Kelly, who doubled at second with 2 out. And another 2-2 pitch coming from Andy Pettitte to Rusty Greer. Him out. He struck out the side with the Kelly double mixed in. He's fanned 7 and he still leads 3-1. Yeah, it's a school night, but it's the playoffs.
How much is that ball worth in comparison to McGuire's?
I think you'd have to mark it down in comparison to any of the balls McGuire hit out this year. Any of the 70. It's unthinkable, isn't it?
For me, it is.
Chili Davis. 2-0 the count. Spencer and Brocious to follow. Tim Crabtree is up in the bullpen for Texas as Helling works into the 6th.
Helling has thrown a lot of pitches, but he's still throwing well.
A 105 pitches to be exact as Crabtree gets ready.
Contrast that by, you know, Pettitte's only thrown 81 pitches.
Two and two.
They're still not able to get around on his fastball, though. I mean, even a good fastball hitter like Chili Davis, not able to pull that pitch. Fastball away, he's been able to stay away from these left-handed hitters, and they have not been able to pull him.
This is low, full count. Helling is fan 7. So is Pettitte. Helling couldn't knock it down. Clayton comes up empty with a dive. Leadoff single for Davis.
That 3 base hits right back through the middle on ground balls that Helling has not been able to knock down. Ground ball right back through the middle again. He's just not able to knock him down there. Hit sharply.
And now Spencer. They take Chili Davis out, and Homer Bush, rookie out of East St. Louis, Illinois, goes in to run for him. So Chili has a 1-for-3 night. Now Spencer.
Well, he's hit 2 fastballs so far in this ballgame. See if they try to make him hit a breaking ball or a changeup.
He's homered and singled. And takes a ball.
That was a changeup. Another changeup.
And Helling falls behind 2-0. Bottom of the order for the Yankees. This ball is ripped, but it's foul. Spencer, Brocious, and Girardi, a combined 6 for 6, with 4 singles and 2 home runs. One by Spencer, one by Brocious. Spencer's was a solo in the second. Brocious hit his with a man out in the fourth. 3-1 New York. Helling taking his time. Now his 2-1 pitch.
Well, he had a fastball. He pulled foul. Now Helling makes a good pitch. Fastball away. He has to go out and try to get this one. Good pitch there by Helling. When you're behind in the count, you have to make good pitches on sluggers.
The 2-2. Full count. Seems strange to say considering what he's done of late. But Spencer was the kind of guy that scouts sometimes tab a 4A player. Meaning he'll excel at AAA, but he might not be good enough, might not have all the tools to bridge the gap to the major leagues and become a true star, might be able to help you as a reserve. Well, he's turned that scouting report upside down the past month or so. There goes Bush. Called strike 3. Throw not in time. He steals second.
Well, it's a good pitch by Helling, but it had to be a curveball. You couldn't challenge him again with a fastball in this situation. But in throwing the curveball, you allow Bush to steal second base. Well, he gets a good jump. Curveball on the outside corner, and even the gun of Rodriguez can't throw out this fleet homer. Bush. There's a curveball, watch, right over the outside corner. Rodriguez gets rid of it quickly, but not in time. You can see McLemore getting ready for the tag, but Bush clearly in before the throw gets there.
Joe Torre likes to run, either the straight steal or the hit and run, likes to play aggressively. Of course, you're restrained a little bit against Rodriguez, but that was a good spot. 3-2 pitch where, as you said, it was unlikely he was going to challenge Spencer with the fastball. He thought the breaking ball was coming. He just inserted Bush as the pinch runner. He's very fast, and he gets the steal. Here's Brocious, singled and homered. Fouled off. Here's what Brocious did his last time up in the fourth.
Well, it's a high fastball away, and I actually thought this ball was just going to be in the right center field for an extra base hit, but it well over the right field wall. Ball really carried well. And again, this is a small ballpark, especially right field.
A ball and 2 strikes. Bush at second with 1 out. Greer way off the line and left. Kelly to the right center field side of the second base bag in center field. Still 1-2. The Yankees got Brocious from Oakland for Kenny Rogers after Scott hit just .203 last year. Bounced back to an even .300 this year. He's a free agent, though, and they don't know if he'll be back in the Bronx next year. They have a third base prospect at Columbus named Mike Lowell, whom they think highly of.
And Kenny Rogers pitched very well for the Oakland A's.
A bluff, nobody there. Two and 2. Rick Helling, who prior to this year had 11 career victories, 20-7 this year, trying to keep the Rangers in Game 2. And that is his 9th strikeout. Coming up tomorrow, Thursday. Don't miss TV's #1 show tomorrow on NBC.
Well, Girardi has hit 2 fastballs back through the middle, so in this situation, you've got to try to make him hit something off speed.
He goes to right field. Gonzalez toward the line, tracks it down.
Good curveball there by Helling.
That was Helling's 121st pitch through 6 innings of work. But he keeps it close. The Rangers trail 3-1. Between innings, Dick Bosman, the pitching coach, greeting Rick Helling.
And I'm sure Bobby's just telling him, you made some good pitches there to get out of the inning. You got yourself in a jam, but you did a good job of getting out.
Pettitte has allowed the Rangers 3 hits through 6. One of them was a 5th inning double by Gonzalez, who leads off here in the 7th. 1 for 2 tonight, 1 for 6 in the series. To this point, a far cry from what he did against the Yankees in the division series in '96. Somehow the Yankees managed to win 3-1, with Gonzalez coming through, it seemed, almost every time up. 5 homers and 9 RBIs in 4 games. Pop back. Girardi has no play.
Let's take a look at the way that Juan Gonzalez uses the field. There you see most of his balls are pulled left, center, and down the line, but he will go the other way, back through the middle.
Who does he remind you of?
I have to think about that for a second, because he's kind of unique in that he's such a big guy, and he has a long swing, but he controls the strike zone so well.
On the corner, good pitch, 1-2. As Tim McCarver was pointing out last night, Gonzalez's nickname is Igor. Not intended to be derogatory. It's because he's such a monster at the plate, and he's put up such monster numbers, and obviously it doesn't bother him because his first son is named Juan Igor Gonzalez. Go figure. The 1-2 pitch. Nope.
Well, smart pitch there by Pettitte. He went off the plate last time, and Gonzalez thought it was a ball, so he just goes a little farther out. And Gonzalez does check his swing.
Still 2-2.
Well, the thing that I like about Juan is that he controls the strike zone. He will chase some pitches out of the strike zone, but he can handle any pitch speed-wise that you throw him in the strike zone. Doesn't matter whether it's curveball, changeup, fastball. He can handle that if it's in the strike zone. But occasionally he will chase a breaking ball out of the strike zone.
Clark and Rodriguez follow him here in the 7th. Will Clark next. So if they don't make some noise with the big bats up in this inning, they're getting closer and closer to when they'll see Mariano Rivera, who blew them away in the 9th last night. And down goes Gonzalez for the 8th strikeout by Andy Pettitte.
And that's just kind of smart pitching. I won't say it's good pitching, but it's smart pitching in that he kept everything away, and he just kept going farther and farther away. Watch this fastball away for strike 2, and then he just stays out there. He just stays away until he gets Gonzalez to chase it. Foul one. Now he chases it. Well, it was a ball, but he just stays out there, and finally Gonzalez chased it. Smart pitching.
Clark has twice flied to Williams in center. As a team this year, Texas hit .315 against left-handed pitching. But David Wells isn't just any left-hander. And the same has been true of Andy Pettitte tonight. If he's rediscovered his groove, he's picked an excellent time to do it.
Well, David Wells had shut them out earlier, but Andy Pettitte, I think they're still surprised because he has definitely changed his pitching pattern tonight. And they have not been able to adjust to that yet. If a pitcher has pitched you one way over the last couple of years, it is hard to get that out of your mind and change and adjust to what he's doing on that particular night.
Drops it in there, 2-1. Pettitte comes back to even the count. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Pettitte's career high in strikeouts is 12. His season high in '98 is 9. He has 8 through 6 1/3 tonight. Left field, Shane Spencer. Two out in the Texas 7th.
Well, you can't say enough about Andy Pettitte and the way he is pitching tonight. If you look at his last 7 starts, you would not expect him to be having this type of a night, especially against a very fine hitting team like the Texas Rangers. But Joe Torre had a lot of faith in him and started him.
Usually the guy who receives the Manager of the Year award is a guy whose team was not expected to do well and they exceed expectations. Well, you can make a case that even if you're expected to win the pennant, when you win 114 and do almost nothing wrong, you've exceeded anyone's expectations. Bounce to the mound, and Pettitte works a perfect 7th inning. So maybe Torres as good a choice as anybody for Manager of the Year. Stretch time at Yankee Stadium. Here's Andy Pettitte in the Yankee dugout being congratulated by Mel Stottlemyre, giving every indication that he's done, having thrown 7 brilliant innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, no walks. He threw 94 pitches. Nelson and Lloyd were up in the bullpen. It'll probably be Nelson in the 8th, hoping to get them to Rivera in the 9th. Meanwhile, Tim Crabtree comes out of the bullpen for Texas, throws that sinker that runs off the plate. Pretty good numbers, 6-1, ERA of 3.59.
Well, if you look at what Rick Helling did and what Todd Stottlemyre did yesterday, Texas just can't say enough about their starting pitching. I mean, you compare that to what the Yankees have done. But the Yankees are such a good team. I mean, they will beat you 1-0, they'll beat you 2-0, or they'll beat you 10-9. I mean, they do whatever is necessary to win a ball game.
Everything Joe Torre did during the season just about worked out. Everything he's done thus far in this series has worked out. Some people wondered why he started Chad Curtis in left field last night. Curtis, who had been slumping, came through with 2 hits and a big base running play. He went to Shane Spencer tonight. Spencer homers and singles. Some people were calling for Andy Pettitte's head.
Right.
Torre stuck with him. Pettitte turns in a brilliant effort tonight.
But you also talked about him being Manager of the Year. I think that's one of the reasons he should be Manager of the Year. They had a lot of question marks at the beginning of the season.
Knobloch bounces it to McLemore, who charges and throws him out.
I mean, they had question marks in their starting rotation. Didn't know what they were going to get from David Cohn. You didn't know what you're going to get from Irabu. And you definitely didn't know that you were going to have Hernandez. I mean, you just didn't know what you were going to get from some of these pitchers. So to me, he is the Manager of the Year.
Well, they started the year at 1-4 amid the usual talk of calamity, but then came back to finish 114-48. How good are they? Obviously, they're one of the best single-season teams of modern baseball. Johnny Oates earlier this year expressed this opinion, though, meaning no disrespect. He said they're an excellent team, but they have only one guy who would start for the Big Red Machine. Jeter running up as if to bunt and then taking inside. He said only Bernie Williams over Cesar Geronimo in center field would get the nod if you compare the Yankee lineup to the Big Red Machine. All right, let's examine that. We'll give him Williams over Geronimo. You got to go with Foster over the committee in left. I'm not so sure that Griffey Sr., though, gets the edge over Paul O'Neill.
Well, it depends on what you want. Griffey was a better defensive player, plus Griffey had a lot more speed, and he hit in a different spot in the order. Paul O'Neill drives in a lot of runs because he hits in a good RBI situation. But that's debatable.
Obviously benches the catcher, Rose over Brocious. I know that you love playing with Concepcion, but I could make a case for Jeter.
Yes, you could.
I'll say it so you don't have to. Morgan over Knobloch at second base. No question we go with the Hall of Famer. Now, on pure numbers the last couple of years, Martinez is right there or beyond Doggy Perez. But in an era where runs were a bit harder to come by, Perez was a great clutch RBI man.
Look, I believe because you're competing against different types of competition, maybe some weaker, some stronger than the other, you can't really look at it on individual statistics. You have to look at how the teams played.
And make no mistake about it, I think the Yankees are a very, very good team in that they play the game the way it's supposed to be played. They have good pitching. They run the bases well. They're a very intelligent team. They do not make a lot of mistakes. They play good defense. So that's why I say they're a good team. Not so much about the 114 victories, but the way they play the game.
Up and into Jeter, who stumbles away. It's 2-2.
Well, as a fastball from Crabtree, you talked about how it runs in his sinker. This one is not really a sinker, but it still runs in on Jeter. And Jeter, like a lot of hitters, are always kind of diving in. See where he's going? His first move is toward the plate. And when that ball runs in, he has to lean back to get out of the way.
Now the 2-2. A little number, and Jeter's bat hit it a second time, and he's out.
Yes, he hit it out in fair territory.
What a strange play. You'll see it on the replay, no doubt. As he broke out of the box, he hit it a second time.
Well, he chops it, and he still has the bat in his hand, and as he brings the bat around to drop it with his right hand, the bat hits the ball. And it's definitely out in fair territory. See, he's out of the batter's box already when he does that. If you hit it while you're still in the batter's box, it's okay. But watch, see, he's out of the batter's box right there, and when he does that, it's interference.
And in case you're wondering, you scored as a putout for the catcher, the fielder closest to the play. Here's O'Neill. Jeter's now 0 for 3 with a walk tonight. O'Neill at the plate. Had a double in the third. He's 1 for 3. 2 out of the 7th. 3-1 New York. They've out-hit the Rangers 8-3.
Well, there are a lot of things about the Yankee ball club that remind me a lot of, of the 1976 Reds. One is they really like each other. They get along so well. And that was one of the trademarks of our ball club. And I've always felt that the 76 Reds teams were the smartest ball club I've ever seen. We were not Phi Beta Kappas off the field, but on the field, I thought we were. I mean, they knew how to play the game. We'd go weeks without a guy making a mental mistake. And this ball club is similar. I mean, they play intelligent baseball. They know how to play. And each guy knows his role as far as helping to win a ball game or helping you win. And that's what's important. That's what makes a team, not a lot of individuals with a lot of high batting averages, etc. I mean, if you take the 5 best basketball players in their time, would they have been able to beat the Bill Russell Celtics? I don't think so. So it's not just about individual, numbers. It's about how you fit in the scope of the team. And that's why we said earlier, I'm not sure they would have been a better team with Chili Davis, even though he is one of the better players in the league.
With 2 out and nobody on, Crabtree delivers the 2-2 to O'Neill and strikes him out, which leaves O'Neill, at least for a moment, hopping mad. No surprise there. Still 3-1 New York as we move to the 8th. With a 3-1 lead, the Yankees bring Jeff Nelson out of the bullpen to try to get them through the 8th and to Rivera in the 9th. Tomorrow's baseball on ESPN at 4 Eastern Time. San Diego and the Astros. Padres lead at 1-0 as Brown outdueled Johnson in Game 1. The Cubs try to get even with Atlanta. The Braves won today 7-1 behind John Smoltz as they took the opener. We're back on the air Friday. Tomorrow night's Cubs-Braves game, by the way, is on Fox, and we're back on the air on NBC Friday night at 8 Eastern Time from Arlington with Game 3 of this series. Nelson, who came to the Yankees from the Mariners as part of the Tino Martinez deal prior to the '96 season, will face Todd Zeile to start it in the 8th. Mike Sims, the DH, is scheduled next, but Luis Alicea is in the on-deck circle. And in the dugout, Lee Stevens, a dangerous hitter, has grabbed a bat. He might follow Alicea with Clayton's spot, the number 9 spot, due.
And Jeff Nelson is a very key component of that bullpen. When he is healthy, I mean, he's almost unhittable from the right side.
Well, look at his delivery. If you're a right-handed hitter, the way he comes at you, it almost looks like he's going to throw it behind your back.
Well, as the guys would say, he throws it out of the third baseman's shirt because he steps around that way, and that's where it appears to come from if you're the hitter.
Zeal's 0 for 2.
Well, let's take a look at his motion. Watch how he kind of steps over toward third base and comes sidearm right there. He's not as sidearm as you might appear, but because he steps so much toward third base, it appears to come sidearm all the way, but it's pretty much about 3/4.
On 1 and 2, it swerves outside. The Yankee starters, Wells and Pettitte, combined to allow 1 run in 15 innings of work. Wells went 8, and Rivera finished it for him to complete the shutout last night. Pettitte goes 7, allows 1 run, and gives the ball to Nelson for the 8th. Zeal with a fly ball to left center field. Williams calling. 1 out. Now here's Alicea.
Number 10, Luis Alicea. Number 10.
Well-traveled infielder. Cardinals a couple of different times. Red Sox, Angels. Now the Rangers. Ball 1 inside.
One of those guys you like to have on the ball club because he can run, he can play some infield positions.
Popped up, Brocious into foul ground, has room. And now they'll send Clayton up and hold Stevens back if they have to use him. They'll hope they can do it with a man on base because he's a home run threat. Calling Mr. Rivera. Will you be ready shortly? A strike to Clayton. Meanwhile, on the other dugout, here's Johnny Oates. Stottlemyre holds him to 2. Thus far, Helling and Crabtree have held him to 3. And my lineup, one of the best in baseball, has 1 run through almost 2 full games. Rich Garcia at first base said he went around 0-2. Outside. The Yankees went through a stretch after maintaining their focus, having busted the race open seemingly by Memorial Day. They did go through a stretch where they slumped a bit in August and September. 2-2. They lost actually 15 of 29 in one stretch, which is a major slump for them. But they ended the season winning their last 7 and then took the first game of this series. Now lead 3-1 with 2 out in the 8th in game 2.
I think yesterday's win was really big because it kept them from thinking that, well, we've won all these games and we can still not get to the World Series.
Hits softly into right. O'Neill trips and can't catch it. Clayton around first. It rained earlier today and into the early evening. The ground's still a little soft and O'Neill's feet went out from under him.
I'm not so sure he wasn't having trouble with the lights before that happened, Bob. Watch him. He's coming in. He ends up slipping. See, right about there, he starts to slip, and look at his face. He's ducking this. He's having trouble with the light right there, and then he starts to slip. And it's a combination. He does fall down. He slips on the wet turf, as you can see. But he was also looking down as if he was having problems with the lights.
So it's a gift base hit for Clayton, bringing up McLemore.
There's a turf that he tore up, as you mentioned. It was really wet out there because it rained really hard for a while here today, this evening. Joe Torre on his way out.
All the talk around New York about the perils of a short series. And it wasn't really misplaced conversation. You put in all that work and it can all disappear on you. A bad hop here, a well-pitched game by the opposition there in a short series. Looks like Graham Lloyd coming out of the bullpen. Nope, they're going to Rivera. They'll ask him to finish the 8th and then continue it through the 9th. On comes Rivera, who closed it out last night. 3-0 with an ERA of 1.91 for the season, 36 saves, 5 blown saves. McLemore, who's 0 for 3 on the night, faces him. Tying run at the plate. Strike one.
Before he only threw a fastball, he just tried to overpower. You see right there, he threw a little cut fastball, and he's been throwing a sinker and more sliders. He has been using more pitches before he just come in and overpower you.
McLemore, a switch hitter, had 5 home runs this year, all of them left-handed. Line drive, Knobloch's got it. For the record, the Yankees were 102-1 when leading after 8. Tim Crabtree remains on the mound as we move to the bottom of the 8th. Bernie Williams leads it off, followed by Martinez. And then Homer Bush is in the DH spot after running for Chili Davis. New center fielder Tom Goodwin, who assumes Roberto Kelly's spot in the lineup, meaning that he'll lead off in the 9th. Bernie's 0 for 3 tonight, hitless in the series in 6 at-bats.
And Bernie is definitely having trouble with fastballs away from him tonight.
The 0-2 up high. A lot of people around the Yankees say that their 1998 season began the instant Bernie Williams flied out to center field to end the division series in Cleveland last October. They felt they were the better team. They were the defending world champions. They thought they could get back to the World Series, and it's burned inside them during the offseason and all the way through this historic season as they rampage through the American League at 114-48. On the verge of taking a 2-0 lead in this opening round series. And then asking David Cone to finish it Friday in Texas.
The 114 by the Yankees is amazing, but that 116 the Cubs had was in 152 games. They were 116 wins and only 36 losses. I mean, that's amazing.
Some of the teams on that list, including the 06 Cubs and the 54 Indians, did not win the World Series. And as has been noted elsewhere, in this decade, in the 90s, never has the team with the best regular season record of the major leagues wound up winning the World Series that year. Again on 2-2. And that stays foul. Just to finish up the conversation about these Yankees versus your Big Red Machine, we talked about the regulars, the starting 8.
Right.
What about the pitching?
Well, when Don Gullett was healthy, he was as good a pitcher as anyone in baseball. So you have to give, I don't think there's anybody that's a better pitcher than him when he was healthy.
But the Yankees have tremendous depth in their starting pitching.
You're right. They have more depth than probably just about anyone has had in a long time.
Their 4th and 5th guys would probably be the number 2 on most pitching staffs.
Exactly.
A bouncer over the mound to his left is Clayton, throws and gets him as Clark stays on the bag.
But I've always gone under the idea, Bob, that it doesn't matter if you have 5 20-game winners to get to 100 or 10 10-game winners. It's still 100. Nice play here by Royce Clayton. The ball, he has to back up, take it on the outfield grass, gets rid of it sidearm like, and Will Clark helps him out, stays right on the bag, and retires Bernie Williams.
He gives them much greater range than they had at shortstop with Kevin Elster.
Well, most people say he's the best shortstop they've had there in the last few years. And they've had some pretty good hitting shortstops, but he's been a very good defensive shortstop as well.
Tino Martinez.
I mean, Bob, we've talked about how the middle of the Texas order is hit. The middle of this Yankee order has not hit that well either. They've been shut down pretty much.
The bottom of the order did the damage tonight, such as it was, scoring only 3 runs on the solo homer by Spencer in the 2nd and the 2-run shot to the opposite field from Brocious in the 4th. Tim Raines moves into the on-deck circle. The DH slot next, technically occupied by Homer Bush. But the first 5 hitters tonight for the Yankees are 1 for 18 with a walk. They might win despite that.
Well, that's another thing that points to how good a team they really are. I mean, they never let up. I mean, you go down the entire order and everyone can contribute.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. That's a fair ball. Clark has it, takes it himself. So Martinez wears an 0 for 4 collar. You were wondering about the blimp, weren't you? Well, it's the Stars and Stripes. This year, Goodyear's celebrating its 100-year anniversary and the 72nd consecutive year for its blimp operation. Nice hand for Raines, who hit .290 this year in limited duty, 5 home runs. And he knocked home 47, as you see. Better than 800 career stolen bases with a single season high of 90. Now in his 20th year in the major leagues, he swiped 8 this season.
Tim Raines has always been a good hitter. He likes the ball out over the plate.
It's sharply to second, McLemore. Coming up for the Rangers in the 9th, Goodwin, Greer, and Gonzalez. They trail by 2.
IBM. Are you ready for e-business? By Adidas and by Teledyne Waterpick.
Tom Goodwin starts it and takes strike 1 from Rivera. New left fielder Chad Curtis for defense in the 9th. There he is, the game 1 starter. Brocious in close at 3rd. Spencer out, having done his job with a homer and a single.
Well, Texas is just hoping to get the tying run to the plate. If Goodwin could get on, they have Greer and Gonzalez to follow.
And it's through the wickets on Rivera and into center field for a hit. So they do get the tying run to the plate.
It's a fastball that a little sinker actually, and he hits it right back through the middle for a base hit. I mentioned Rivera is throwing a few sinkers as well as the cut fastball and also the straight fastball. He's been mixing up his pitches a lot more lately. That's why he doesn't strike out as many as he did in the past.
Rusty Greer was 0 for 3 against Pettitte. Now tries Rivera. Slow roller. Knobloch takes the play at first. Goodwin moves to second. Now Gonzalez. 45 home runs for the season. 1 for 3 tonight. A 5th inning double. 1 for 7 in the series.
But he's always dangerous if you make a mistake in the strike zone. I'd like to see how they're attacking with the first couple of pitches. Rivera has such a good fastball. If he can get him to chase something out of the strike zone, he'd be better off. But he handles all the pitches in the strike zone.
Lifetime against Rivera. Gonzalez is 4 for 15 with a home run. Hit sharply. Brocious has it. Throws across the diamond for the second out. Goodwin moves up to third.
And Rivera went with that sinking fastball to make sure he kept the ball in the ballpark.
And a reminder, throughout most of the country, your late local news is coming up as soon as the ball game is over. Will Clark has flied out 3 times tonight. He hit 23 homers during the season. Rivera's got the sign he wants. And the 0-1.
One thing, when you face Rivera, you do not have a lot of time to decide whether it's in the strike zone or not.
He lulls you to sleep with that easy motion, and then the ball is on you. Boom. The 0-2. Once more. Pop back. No play.
Will Clark's first major league at bat, he faced Nolan Ryan, another hard thrower, and he hit a home run straight away center field in the Astrodome. He's always been a good fastball hitter.
Another 0-2 pitch. Struck him out with high heat, and the Yankees take a 2-0 lead to Texas. To the Bronx to wrap it up after this. Well, the Yankees have won 9 in a row, 7 to close the season, 2 in this series. The Chevrolet player of the game is winning pitcher Andy Pettitte, and we go downstairs to Jim Gray, who's with Shane Spencer. Oh, first this little bit of business on Andy Pettitte. Show you his mastery for the most part over the Texas Rangers, working 7 innings, allowing only 3 hits. He was actually perfect through 4 innings. Nelson worked 2/3 of an inning in the 8th. Rivera got the last out in the 8th and finished up in the 9th. And now, as promised, Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. I'm now here with Shane Spencer. They are chanting his name. Shane, how have you managed in such a short amount of period of time in the majors to be so successful? How have you managed this run you've got?
Well, I think it's just a lot of the pitchers don't know much about me, and they're coming after me and looking at our lineup, and really we don't have any weaknesses. And if hopefully if they're going to come after me, I got to take advantage of those pitches. What's it like for you to be an instant celebrity here in New York City with the Yankees? All this hoopla surrounding you. Well, it's better than getting out there and not doing good and then them just booing you off the field. So I'm enjoying it right now. You said off camera you were eating it up. How can you continue to maintain a level like this? Well, I don't know, because just the guys around me, the focus they have, and they keep an even keel this whole year, and it's just rubbing off on me, and that's the way I approach things. Were you surprised you played tonight and started? I wasn't surprised, but I didn't know until the lineup card was up, and that's the way I like to have it every day, so that way I'm prepared. Shane, congratulations. We look forward to Game 3 in Texas. All right, thank you very much. Back upstairs to you, Bob.
All right, Jim, thanks a lot. Indisputable logic from Spencer. Being the hero, much better than screwing up and being booed off the field. Once again, the final score. The Yankees 3 and the Rangers 1. We'll see you again for Game 3 of the American League Division Series on Friday night at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific from Texas. Coming up after your late local news, The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. Tonight, Jay welcomes Kirstie Alley of Veronica's Closet, Master Chef Emerald Lagasse, and rocker Liz Phair. That's tonight after your late local news. For Joe Morgan and Jim Gray, I'm Bob Costas. So long from Yankee Stadium.